Hello and welcome to another video where I'm going to have a look at the Autechre track Eutow. This may be the first Autechre track I've done on this channel, which is, yeah, I've been meaning to for ages, a year and a half into this channel. It's like Aphex, Autechre, there, you know, and Square Pusher, and Bogdan Rudczynski, and Luke Viber. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of stuff, but anyway, I've been very Aphex heavy. Anyway, I thought of doing an Autechre track because this weekend I'm going to Manchester because Autechre are playing in Manchester this weekend on Saturday night, 22nd of Feb. But I don't have a ticket. But about 4 months ago when I found out about the gig, it just sold out really quickly. And I just thought, I'll go to Manchester anyway. I'll get on all the waiting lists. I'll get a ticket. And I am on all the waiting lists and I'm hoping to get a ticket. I still haven't got one 3 days before the gig. Anyway, I lined up some other stuff to do in Manchester, so, you know, I don't really mind if I don't go. But if anyone watching this is selling a ticket, get in touch with me. Unless you're a scammer, in which case, don't. Because, yeah, there's loads of those. Because I put on Reddit, I put like on some Autechre thread about the gig, I put anybody selling a ticket. And then I got like about 5 different scammers contacting me. I know they were scammers because they were, if you, on one of the, you can't buy a ticket off someone on the apps whereby they can reverse it after you send them the money. They can still change the ownership of the ticket, so when you actually go to the gig, it's already been used. So you got to be careful. There's only certain ways you can actually buy a ticket for a gig. So anyways, that's the background. Now, this track has always been one of my favorite Autechre tracks. And what I'm going to do is going to listen to that intro, that amazing strings intro. I'm going to figure it out. And actually, I have just figured it out. I'm going to record it, do a kind of guitar version, see what it sounds like. All right, so here we go. So make this a little smaller. Okay, so we got, this is that kind of thing. Right. Pentatonic. It's like it's kind of like B minor, sort of. Yeah, actually. Like a B minor pentatonic riff, right? And then this higher, which is notes now I'm figuring out, it's like got a major 6 in it, so if it is B minor, it's a Dorian-y thing. And then what I'm going to do is actually different in this video. I'm going to record in this Ableton session. I'm going to record. Okay, now that kind of continues. Right, so now this next bit, I gotta figure out like where does that come in? Comes in on beat 4. So now I'm gonna, I should have named this. Duplicate it. Call it guitar 2. I should actually be more specific than that. Eutow, guitar 1. Eutow, guitar 2. Helps if you need to find the files later on. Okay, And then I'm going to record 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Oops. I didn't really get that right. So it's on the third one. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really hard. I'm like behind. Yeah, that's maybe because I'm hearing a delay. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Oops, I didn't even record that time. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay, right. And then after those bits, the next thing that comes in is way up here. Where does that come in? I wasn't counting. Comes in around the 4 again, or the end of 4. It's hard to really tell. I'm gonna duplicate this one. Now this is gonna not line up really. Can we get it's not perfect timing, but so what? Okay, so then oops. Why is it doing that? Is way harder than I thought to get the timing perfect for this, but yeah, it doesn't really even need to be perfect. It's like whatever. And then we're gonna next where these notes come in, this extra notes here. Is that note in it as well? Might be, so it might be like a triad. Right, and then these bass notes come in, which I'm going to use octave pedal. So I'm going to put in this it's nothing like it. And then the bass. For the bass, I've got a pog pedal. I'm gonna oops. Why didn't I record? I didn't hit record. All right, so it's kind of, I could have done this to a grid, I suppose, and got it all perfect and everything, but I just kind of didn't. So I'm just, here's what it sounds like out of phase. It's just not good, you know, it's more interesting this way. What if we load up a lot of reverb? Valhalla, of course. Let's do it large. Guitar cloud. Sounds about right. Okay, so, well, I think that's interesting because I never thought of it as a modular structure, which is what I call when there's like parts that just go along and then parts get added. I always thought this was more of a chord sequence. Actually, it's not a chord sequence, it's completely modal. So the notes are all from B Dorian and they just little riffs like stacked on top of each other. Autechre, back in the early days, I think they were like more like, you know, when I say Amber, the album is like absolute classic. I love it. It's more of like other IDM acts, I suppose, with synthesizers and melodies and chords. And then they developed into, I would say, definitely the foremost live act on the planet for electronic music. Like, I've seen them a number of times, and the last time in Dublin in Vicar Street was absolutely just, it's hard to describe how, like, I went into another realm listening to it. Like, it's incredible. Actually, the last 2 times I've seen them, absolutely incredible. And I'm really hoping I get to go to the gig on a Saturday. But before, you know, Amber and Tri Repeat, well, Tri Repeat is kind of like going towards a more interesting sound design, but Eutow is maybe the most like synthy track. And when the beats come in, of course, it's like an electro track. It's, oh, I forgot about these bits. Should have had them. Well, that's more of the... Oh, bringing that beat in over that. I mean, that is genius. That is just genius. You can drop that last track in a club. Thank you very much. I'd be happy with that. Anyways, so that is maybe the peak Autechre track of their earlier period, and then they started going into more maybe conceptual, less melody note driven stuff, although some of the later stuff does have that melodies and stuff. But if you want me to deconstruct any more Autechre tracks, let me know in the comments which ones you want me to do. This was always one of my favorites. Glad I did that now, so I know what to do. Let me know what you think of it and all that. And all right, that'll be it for this video.